Hello and a warm welcome here from the Epson Industry Solution Center Plus to a first new event in a series under the topic Smart Feeding. In this series, together with a partner, we want to introduce solutions for part singulation and feeding. Of course, always in combination with our Epson robots. So my name is Dirk Volkens and I'm responsible for the robot sales in the EMEA territory. With me here today, to my right, is Francesco Neri. He's product manager of ARS Automation. Very welcome, Francesco.
Thank you for having me.
So maybe this company is a little bit unknown, but what should not be unknown is your product. And your product, we're talking about FlexiBowl. And FlexiBowl is a part feeder which conquers the market for itself since a little longer than 10 years. So we have planned this session here in a way that we will use about 30 minutes, maybe a few minutes longer, to introduce ARS and the FlexiBowl by presentation and by some nice application videos. Also, we do have prepared a live demonstration with the Epson Spider robot in the background, where we move to in a few minutes. And then after the presentation, you have the opportunity to put any question in the Q&A section of this Teams event, and then we will read through the question and try to answer it in a following, let's say, 15 minutes Q&A session. And with that, I hand over to you, Francesco, to start the presentation with an overview of ARS.
Thank you very much, Dirk. ARS is a company located in Italy, especially, I have to be precise, Tuscany. And the company is specialized in the supply of solutions for automation and robotic. ARS has been in the market for over 30 years. And it started out as the distributor of robots for a Silicon Valley-based robot company. It was the Mediterranean branch, actually. With this experience, ARS installed many different kinds of applications with robots, and it acquired a lot of experience in the field of automation. During its professional development, ARS founders realized that there was a gap in the part feeding solution technologies. And they started thinking of a new solution to feed components more efficiently and more flexibly, especially. That solution is our main product, which is called FlexiBowl, and it's a patented product now used in many kinds of industrial productions all over the world. There was a switch and a shift in the automation market that led to the rise of flexible automation. And as I was saying, ARS founders realized that in order to create a new product that could solve that problem. The problem was that the automation technologies for part feeding were very rigid and not very versatile. And with some new problems in the production, they had to invent a new solution that could feed without any problems multiple types of components. There was a shorter product life cycle and faster time to market that came into consideration when creating FlexiBowl, and also the increased availability of the robots and cobots as well. Moving forward, I'd like to make a quick overview of our global network of distributors and partners that can supply and support our solution worldwide. We have now more than 50 in many nations, so that FlexiBowl can be deployed globally, together with our support as well. I talked about FlexiBowl, but I haven't really told you what it is and showed you a video. I'd like to show you a quick video in order to make everyone understand how it works and how it separates the components for the robot picking in production lines. As you can see from the video, Flexible disk rotates and flips the components to reorient them so that the robot can act as a very fast picker, and it can pick up the components with no effort in the most efficient way possible. This application was with an Epson 6-axis model. A few details about the flexible specifics. The payload is very high, one of the highest in the market with 7 kilograms. The product dimensions it can handle are ranging from 1 to 300 millimeters. And there are 5 models with many options to customize it and make it suitable for every kind of component. It handles, as I was saying, many geometries, surfaces, and materials, and compatible with all robots and cobots and vision systems.
Hey, you say with all robots, but what makes it so special with Epson robots?
Well, there's a specific integration that we did with Epson, which is the Epson dedicated plugin we created in order to make communication with Epson robot especially reliable and fast, easy to use in general. The Epson plugin is available at any time for our customers that need it for their Epson robots.
Okay, good.
Moving forward with the presentation, the application field of flexible is very wide. As I was saying, it's been used in many types of industrial applications, ranging from assembly to packaging, to kitting, to conveyor belt loading, and also many others. I'd like to show a quick overview of when flexible is a better choice compared to other feeding solutions in the market. First of all, with tangling parts like C or U-shaped components, parts that have bursts and flashes, and non-rigid materials such as O-rings that are difficult to feed because of their flexibility. Then I could say that flexible handles materials very delicately without no scratches or damages, and also complex geometries that are costly to feed with other solutions. The most important one and the case where flexible really shines is with multiple parts, so small production batches and small lots of production that need to change frequently. Moving forward with the presentation, I'd like to show you the range of solutions we provide. There are 5 sizes of flexible, with 1 more to come soon. And these sizes and models can be chosen depending on the products to feed to create the perfect configuration and the perfect solution. With the flexible options, as I was saying before, you can customize many parts of the feeding application, starting from the surfaces that can be standard or custom of many versions. So spike versions or hollow versions for the pre-feeding of components for the robot. And there's also a multiple parts version that handles different components at the same time, up to 6. Our IP40 version, together with the remote control box, is especially suitable for dirty environments where particles could damage the parts or make the surface dirty. And there's also a clean room version for even more strict requirements and up to ISO 5. Our quick emptying solution allows the automatic purge of the surface so that there's no need for an operator to do it manually. And also, last but not least, our lighting options available in backlight, top light, and other versions too that facilitate the detection of components for the vision system. Now, speaking of vision system, we have our own called FlexiVision that allows dynamic control of all flexible functionalities. And it is a PC-based, Cognex-based libraries vision system. The calibration of the system is integrated, and it allows to set up to 4 cameras, including inspection, and 2 robots, and also setting up models, complete the detection of the component, and also setting up of the inspection tool. We also have a few tutorials that can be used to support our users.
So you show FlexiVision, Francesco, and in case of Epson, you said you have a perfect plugin to run with the Epson robot.
Yeah.
Can you also run with the Epson Vision and then have the same or similar similar features like with the FlexiVision?
Of course, yes. Our dedicated Epson plugin has all the functionalities needed to control the application in any part with no problem, and its interface is also very easy to use.
Good.
Moving forward to our bulk feeder range, bulk feeders are the elements that are used to pre-dose components onto the flexible surface, and they come in different versions depending on the component. We have polyurethane coated ones for metal components, for example, and we have conveyor hoppers as well for components that are difficult to untangle, and also motorized hoppers in case an higher autonomy is required. In any case, one of our bulk feeders is always recommended in order to have the right amount of components on the flexible surface at all times and to guarantee a steady flow of parts to the robot. A quick overview of the flexible operating modes. Our first operating mode is a standard one, especially suitable for applications where a high accuracy is needed. And in this operating mode, the dropping action and picking action from the robot are always simultaneous and independent, so it creates an efficiency in the process. I'll show you a quick video of this operating mode with Epson robots feeding medical parts that are also transparent. And in this case, we had the Epson Vision system that was able to detect the parts even though they were transparent with no effort. And we also had an Epson 6-axis robot to create a very smart configuration for the pick and place action. The disc used was a spike one in order to prevent the components from rolling too much so that it could be stabilized for the robot to pick them. Our second operating mode is the multiple parts feeding mode that I talked about in a previous slide as well. And this operating mode allows to minimize the footprint of the system by having more than one component on the flexible surface at the same time. So you can have up to 6 types of components on only one flexible at one time, and divide the disk into 2 or more sections so that you can handle the different components. The layout is minimized and also the investment. Here's a quick video of the flexible handling components in the multiple parts feeding mode with 4 sectors of the disk. In this case, we have 4 sectors, but only 2 components to make an even smarter layout. And then our quick emptying mode is shown so that the operator doesn't have to unload the components from the flexible manually. Then the components can be collected from a box easily. Our third and last operating mode is personally my favorite, I have to be honest. It's our circular tracking mode, where all action happen at the same time. So the bulk feeder dropping, separation from the disk, vision processing, and picking from the robot happen simultaneously in dedicated sectors. And this way, there's a lot of efficiency in the process, and it's something that increases throughput incredibly compared to the other operating modes. We can say up to 85%.
So for the robot, you need then conveyor tracking, right? So Epson conveyor tracking can do the circular conveyor tracking. And exactly. I see this extra encoder. This encoder, does it come from you or is it customer provided?
It comes from us, and it allows the robot to know where the component is located after the picture from the vision system is taken. And as you were saying, Epson is one of the few robot brands that supports circular conveyor tracking. So the integration with our circular tracking mode is especially powerful with this.
Yeah, thank you. Good.
I'll show you a quick video as well, where you can see our flexible handling different types of components in the tracking mode with one of your Epson ARS Spider robots, and different surfaces as well. The components range from the medical industry to the cosmetic industry, electronics, automotive, and many more. And as you can see, Flexible feeds them to the Epson robot perfectly without no issue. There's always a steady flow of components so that the feed rate is stable, and the Epson robot can go at maximum speed. I'd like to give you a few more details about the parallel feeding process, but I already mentioned it. The dropping action, separation, detection, and picking from the robot happen at the same time, saving lots of time compared to traditional feeding solutions. And it creates an efficiency in the process from the beginning. Now I'd like to talk about the best configurations to have with Epson robots, and I'll show you a quick animation. We have many solutions that can be crafted together with Epson robots. I think we have a really good collaboration and also a synergy between our products and Epson robot. And many different types of robots can be employed with our flexible models, ranging from SCARAs to 6-axis, and even compact solutions and collaborative robots as well. This is all configurable in many ways with different options. And as you know, Epson has always a big range, a large range of models to
yes,
to
Francesco,
choose from.
And I like this animation very much. You picked the strong points of the Epson robots and put it together with your feeder. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. A few words about our service and go-to-market strategy. We usually start with an analysis of the project with the customer. What we do is we ask the customer to send us a few samples of their components so that we can test them on in our lab. That includes the various configurations I was showing. And the feasibility request is then handled by our project office team that test the components onto our flexibles and send a video back to the customer together with a report and an analysis of how it went. And then if the project is approved from customer, we go from there. So we have a service department available for any need. We can provide training to facilitate the system ramp up of the system. And in any case, we're always available to consult and analyze application with the customer. Our target and our usual customers are system integrators and machine builders. And we usually interface with them via our distributors and partners all over the world that I was showing in the network before. Our support is always dedicated. It can be done remotely or in person, depending on the situation. And I like also to say that our system is has a very simple concept. So maintenance is always easy to do and can be done autonomously or with our support. But in any case, we have spare parts available that ship the next day from the request. So they're always in stock together with our production parts. And this makes the lead time of the flexible very, very short, approximately 4 weeks. A few words about the system architecture of the software. First of all, the default connectivity options of Flexible are Ethernet TCP/IP, Ethernet IP, or digital I/O. And you can have 3 different configurations, either with the robot as a master, especially suitable with the Epson Vision System, with the Vision System as a master and the PC to support it, or with the PLC as a master. We have the Epson dedicated plugin that I was referring to earlier, and it includes all functionalities required to control Flexible and the feeding application together with the robot. It can be quickly deployed to our customers that need it, and it's compatible with all vision systems, both third-party vision systems and, of course, the Epson Vision System as well.
Francesco, maybe I can interfere with one of the first questions that came in here. This plugin that we were talking about, the Epson plugin, is this free of charge, and is it supplied by ARS or by Epson?
It's supplied by ARS, and it is absolutely free of charge. So you can request it to our support team, and they will deploy it to the customer with no problem.
Okay, thank you. Because it just fit into the context.
Of course, yeah. A few more words about the system architecture. As I was saying, there are some tasks that are parallel. So the camera location, pick and place of the robot, and the hopper dropping parts happen at the same time. The bulk feeder knows when to drop parts thanks to the vision system and thanks to a grayscale algorithm. It detects the empty spaces in the flexible surface, and then when the components are passing a certain threshold, it decides whether to release more components to fill out the empty space or to just keep the surface rotating for the robot feeding. There's also a quick overview of our flexible interface parameters that you can use to test all flexible functionalities and change acceleration, deceleration, speed, and angle of the movement, and also a few of the commands that can be used. Our last section of the presentation includes some of the flexible news. I'll go over the main ones. First of all, we have a new flexible model coming up in the second part of the year, and we'll launch it at one of the major trade shows this year, which is called the Flexible 1200. And it's by far the biggest model that we have, that handles very large components. I would say that it's probably one of the biggest in the market as well. It will be able to work with 2 robots simultaneously, and we can't wait to launch it at one of the major trade shows. Another exciting news is the flash-mounted version, so that you can save space and have the flexible built-in on the surface of the rest of the application. And also many new options and accessories coming. Our R&D team is always working to innovate continuously.
So machine builders build it themselves into a table or a stand or whatever they want.
Yes, and they can have the flash-mounted flexible implemented into the cell or the stand, and it can match the same surface, so that there's no footprint that goes wasted. It's a very compact solution, especially suitable for applications where there's not much space.
Okay.
I want to move on to the case studies because they're very interesting, and our first one comes from our partners, Dynamic Automation. They showed us loading machine for COVID tests. These parts were very difficult to feed because of their inconsistent geometry and flexibility, but our own flexible has no problem feeding them. As you can see, non-rigid materials are handled with no effort, together with the versatility of the Epson robots. One of them is taking the components from the feeder, and the other one is placing them onto the conveyor belt for the next phase of the assembly production. As you can see, there was an Epson camera with the Epson vision system perfectly integrated, and this is our quick emptying function with the purge bin to collect the components once they are fallen down. Our second case study is an application from partners Foxbot from Switzerland. They had an angle grinder application with a press machine. And in this case, we deployed multiple parts feeding solution that could feed 2 different components at the same time. They were fed to an Epson Scara robot that places them into an intermediate slide deposit that slides underneath a press machine. The press machine then presses them down and assembles them, and then they are placed onto the final deposit for the next phase of the production. Our third case study is an application with many different components in metal. And as you can see, Flexible handles a variety of components with no effort. In this case, the first clip we have is with very tiny components, approximately 4 millimeters, and our Flexible 350 model, handling them easily for the Epson robot to pick. And then there's a quality inspection camera located on the deposit that decides whether the components are up to the standards or not. And then they are moved onto the next phase of the process, depending on the inspection. Some of them pass and a few fail. As you can see, Flexible has no problem handling difficult geometries and larger components as well with these other clips. The other clips that I'm showing are also quality inspection applications. Our last case study comes from our partners Weismatic in Finland, and it's also a quality inspection. I think it's very interesting because in this application, a world-class payload is needed. They had to feed padlock shackles that are very big and also heavy. And they did it with our Flexible and our bulk feeder covered in polyurethane to feed them. Then an Epson 6-axis robot that had the right range of movement to move the components into the cell and make sure that all the phases of the process were completed together with the quality inspection that the cell is for. Then the parts that pass the quality inspection tests are placed onto a conveyor belt and released into a box for the operator to pick, and they're ready to go.
Okay, I think this was very nice application videos. But Francesco, now let's go to the live machine and have some action on this system here. So if I remember how to start it, I will try to start it. Start. So what we see here first, the robot is of course Epson robot. It's the Epson ARS 351 with 350mm reach and 3 kg payload. But we're not talking about the robot, Francesco, we're talking about FlexiBowl. That's the topic today. So
this is our Flexible 650 model, which is our second to largest model available. And it is feeding medical components to the Epson RS robot in the standard operating mode. So as I was saying, standard mode is when the disc rotates and then stops, allowing the robot to have the maximum accuracy possible for the picking. This Flexible has also our special spike disc that prevents the components from rotating or moving, so that there's less stabilization time and the robot can pick them with no effort. And the features also are air blow to prevent the components from grouping next to the central flange of the surface. In this case, there's also a flip unit active in order to move the components, flip them, reorient them, and also make sure that they don't group all together.
So for this demonstration, you shoot them back to the surface, but the machine has also a little bit more, and I could see this panel on the back side. What does it give us, this panel?
That is one of the Flexible standard features, which is our control panel equipped with the air and electrical connection ports, and also our network port, together with the screen that allows users to control the pressure of the air. So those numbers you see are indicate the air pressure of Flexible, so that you can regulate it and maybe make it a little stronger or a little weaker depending on the application.
And the bunker we see is also linked with that panel to then feed extra parts when the disk is empty or looks to be empty.
Yeah, it's all linked together so that the vision system detects if there are empty spaces onto the surface, and then the bunker or bulk feeder can release components onto the surface to guarantee that the robot has always some parts to pick.
Yeah, what you also have integrated in this feeder, what I see is this purge function.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's the purge function that we showed in the previous videos, and basically it acts as a little drawer, I like to call it. So there's one part of the Flexible edge that comes down, And then the centrifugal force of the rotation of the surface makes the components fall down into our special box. And then the operator can manually collect the components without having to empty the surface of flexible manually.
Okay, thank you, Francesco. I don't know if this is the right point to ask, but I have seen there was one question. Can you say something about 6 components on one disk?
Of course, yeah. This is not the application with the multiple parts feeding mode, but I can definitely talk about it. Our 6, the possibility of having 6 components with only one flexible is allowed by our multiple parts feeding mode that can have up to 6 sections of the disk. And we usually recommend consulting our team before deciding how many sectors to have, because it's not very straightforward. But basically, it allows to save a lot of space and cost, because you're having different components fed with only one feeder, only one solution.
So the 6 means you have 6 sections on your disk.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe up to 6 bulk feeders that then put parts into these specific sections, and then the vision system detects which section is underneath and tells the robot where to go.
Exactly. Yes. So with in case you had more than one sector, you would need one bulk feeder for each kind of component, of course.
Okay.
And also, I like to say that the bulk feeders would always have to be connected so that they the flow of parts is regulated. Of course, they cannot release the components all at the same time. The bulk feeders need to be all connected together so that only one at a time releases components onto the surface.
And is this related to a size? Because I can imagine 6 sectors on a very small disk. Is it a size limitation or?
Yes. The bulk feeder, the multiple parts feeding function is available only with bigger sizes of flexible. So, of course, I think the best idea is always to speak to our operation team so that they can give you the best configuration to feed many components with only one feeder.
Okay, then I stop it because it's still pretty noisy. Stop. So
there we go.
And let's go back to our table.
Yeah.
Then we try to summarize and jump into the Q&A session. Yeah, what we have seen nice applications in your application videos, which give a bright overview on your system. We have seen this also with the Epson Robot Live, and that is not just in the video. So that was very impressive. And now let's move to the Q&A section, and there are some. So one I have already tried to bring in during the presentation.
Yeah.
Others are, do you have video tutorials about your systems parameterization? I think on your website.
Yes, they're not on our website, but they are available for all of our customers. We do have a series of tutorials that help the end user with the parameterization of flexible. And also, I like to say that we're making more as we innovate the functions of flexible. So not only there is a series of flexible tutorials available, but we'll make more to cover even more aspects of the operation of flexible.
Okay, so our producer will then display the link to the website, to your website, also in this Q&A session. Then, could you please point the advantages of flexible against its competitors in the market? I think the whole presentation was about the advantages.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Well, I'd say the main advantage is the process and its efficiency. With flexible, we try to have as many actions happen at the same time and not sequentially. So we have parallel actions, especially, for example, in the tracking mode that I was referring to earlier. We have all actions of the feeding solution happening at the same time. So bulk feeder releasing components, vision processing, robot picking, all happen at the same time, so that a lot of time is saved, and you know, there's always a steady flow of parts. The other solutions in the market can't do that, and they have a sequence that they need to follow at all times, and you know, that's probably inherently the biggest advantage that we have over the other solutions. I would say the process.
Okay. So there's a question: how many flexibles are installed worldwide? Can you say numbers, or is it secret?
We can say that there are more than 2,000 flexibles installed worldwide in a very wide variety of solutions for the feeding of many types of components. We range from the automotive and electronic industry to the cosmetics and medical component industry, and also to the metal and plastic production.
Then there is a question, or just maybe a confirmation: is the feasibility test free of charge, or do you ask for payment?
It is absolutely free of charge, and we encourage all users to send us their components so that we can provide a free test with the Epson robots, and also we can send back, as I was saying before, a video of how your components are handled by Flexible, and then also a report with all the statistics.
Okay, thank you, Francesco. Many questions. So, for example, we have seen many discs: blue, white, spike disc to prevent the rolling. Are the discs replaceable by the user, and how much time does it take?
It takes a couple of minutes. It's incredibly easy to remove the disc and place another one on top of the surface, and it's pretty much you only have to unscrew 4 of our screws in the central flange. You replace the disc, and then you screw them back in. It's easy as that.
Yeah. You said payload is 7 kilograms. This is maximum payload of all parts on the disc.
It is, yes.
Another advantage of this specific feeder system.
Yeah, I would say it's one of the advantages on the other solutions as well, together with the process that I was saying earlier. We have one of the highest payloads in the flexible feeding solutions.
Okay, then there is a last question, which I will answer offline. I know it's from one of our distributors asking for demo units for exhibitions, so I will answer this offline.
That's always a pleasure. You know, we're trying to be present at as many trade shows we can. So
yeah, one of our distributor, like Visematic, is Epson distributor.
Yes.
And you showed a video from Visematic, who is also Flexible distributor.
Of course, we have many partners in common, and I see a lot of synergy between not only our companies but also our products.
Okay, I think it's in the moment, and with that question, we'd like to conclude our event, but not without thanking everybody once again for the attention and the interesting questions. Many thanks to ARS Automation for bringing this cell to our ISC Plus, and in particular to you, Francesco, for the impressive excursion into the world of flexible feeding. At the same time, I would like to draw your attention to further events with other partners that we're going to do here. Please register at epson.de/robots/ISC Plus. There you can also book a tour through the Epson robot portfolio, which you saw here in the background, the cells that we didn't run, but there are many exhibition cells and showing the full Epson portfolio. Also, there was a transcription of this event for those who came late. they can ask for the transcription and then see the video of our, or the recording of our session here. So thank you very much. Thank you, Francesco.
Thank you, Dirk.
And see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.